Have you ever wondered why certain U.S. states consistently vote for one political party over another? Welcome to the Geographical Divide, where we'll explore the fascinating world of voting patterns in red and blue states. Today, we're diving deep into how geography influences political leanings across the United States. Why do some states lean heavily Republican while others are staunchly Democratic? What factors contribute to these distinct voting behaviors? Join us as we unravel the geographical, cultural, and socio-economic threads that shape the political landscape of America. In this video, we'll take a closer look at how urban and rural divides, regional cultures, and historical contexts play pivotal roles in determining whether a state leans red or blue. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of the complex factors that drive voting patterns and how these patterns have evolved over time. So let's get started on this insightful journey through the political map of the United States. Historical context of voting patterns. We need to take a step back in time to understand the current political landscape. The division between red and blue states has its roots in American history. After the Civil War, the South became solidly Democratic as a reaction against the Republican-led Reconstruction. This alignment persisted for nearly a century, until the Civil Rights Movement of the 1960s, when the Democratic Party's support for civil rights led to a major realignment. The South gradually shifted to the Republican Party, while the Northeast and West Coast became Democratic strongholds. This shift was driven by changing social attitudes, economic factors, and regional identities. The 1980s further cemented these trends as Ronald Reagan's conservative policies appealed to many Southern and rural voters, while urban areas leaned more liberal. Today, this historical context helps explain why states like Texas and Alabama are reliably red, while California and New York are solidly blue. However, it's important to note that these trends are not set in stone. Political landscapes can and do change, as seen in the recent shifts in states like Georgia and Arizona. Urban versus rural divide. One of the most significant factors influencing voting patterns in the United States is the urban-rural divide. Generally, urban areas tend to lean Democratic, while rural areas are more likely to vote Republican. But why is this the case? Urban areas typically have higher population densities, greater diversity, and more progressive social attitudes. Cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago are cultural and economic hubs that attract a wide range of people, including young professionals, immigrants, and those with liberal views. These populations often prioritize issues like climate change, social justice, and economic equality, which align with Democratic platforms. In contrast, rural areas tend to have smaller, more homogeneous populations, with a greater emphasis on traditional values, self-reliance, and community. Agriculture, manufacturing, and mining industries, which are prominent in rural regions, often align with Republican policies that support deregulation, lower taxes, and conservative social policies. This alignment is reflected in states like Kansas, Nebraska, and Wyoming, where rural voters consistently support Republican candidates. Suburban areas, located between urban and rural regions, can be more politically diverse and have become key battlegrounds in recent elections. Suburbs often reflect a mix of values and priorities, making them unpredictable and crucial for both parties. The urban-rural divide is not just about geography. It also encompasses cultural and socio-economic differences that shape political identities. As cities continue to grow and rural areas face economic challenges, this divide remains a critical factor in American politics. Next, let's examine how regional cultures and identities influence voting patterns. Regional cultures and identities. Regional cultures and identities play a significant role in shaping the political leanings of different states. The United States is a vast and diverse country, with distinct cultural regions that have developed their own unique political identities over time. The Northeast, often called the birthplace of American democracy, is known for its progressive values and strong democratic presence. States like Massachusetts, New York, and Vermont have long histories of supporting liberal policies on social issues, education, and healthcare. This region's political culture is influenced by its early industrialization, high levels of education, and urbanization. The South, on the other hand, has a more conservative political culture rooted in its agrarian past and historical resistance to federal intervention. States like Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas are known for their strong support of Republican candidates. Issues such as gun rights, religious values, and limited government resonate deeply in these states. The Midwest, often seen as America's heartland, presents a more mixed political landscape. States like Ohio and Wisconsin can swing between Democratic and Republican candidates, reflecting a blend of urban industrial areas and rural farming communities. Its working-class roots and economic concerns influence this region's political culture. The West Coast, including California, Oregon, and Washington, is a bastion of liberalism, driven by its diverse population, tech industry, and environmental consciousness. These states consistently support democratic policies on climate change, immigration, and social justice. Finally, the Mountain West, including states like Colorado and Utah, combines a strong sense of individualism with environmental awareness. While traditionally leaning Republican, some states in this region are becoming more politically diverse due to changing demographics and urbanization. Understanding these regional cultures helps explain why certain states vote the way they do and highlight the importance of cultural identity in shaping political behavior. Now let's explore the socio-economic factors that influence voting patterns. Socio-economic factors. Socioeconomic factors are crucial in understanding voting patterns across red and blue states. These factors include income levels, education, employment sectors, and access to resources, all of which influence political preferences and behaviors. Income levels can significantly impact voting behavior. Generally, wealthier individuals and those in higher income brackets may lean towards Republican policies that advocate for lower taxes and reduced government intervention in the economy. Conversely, lower income individuals often support Democratic policies that focus on social welfare programs, minimum wage increases, and healthcare access. Education also plays a pivotal role. Higher education levels are associated with more liberal views, likely due to exposure to diverse perspectives and critical thinking skills developed through academic experiences. As a result, states with higher percentages of college-educated residents, like Massachusetts and Colorado, tend to lean Democratic. Employment sectors also influence political leanings. States with economies heavily reliant on industries like agriculture, mining, and manufacturing often support Republican candidates due to the party's stance on deregulation and economic policies favoring these sectors. In contrast, states with robust technology, finance, and service industries, which are more prevalent in urban areas, are more likely to support Democratic candidates. Access to resources, including healthcare, education, and social services, also affects voting patterns. Areas with greater access to these resources may prioritize policies that maintain or expand such services, aligning with the Democratic platform. Conversely, regions with limited access might support Republican candidates advocating for alternative solutions and reduced government involvement. By examining these socioeconomic factors, we can better understand the diverse motivations behind voting behaviors in different states. Finally, let's look at how these voting patterns have evolved over time and what the future might hold. Evolution of voting patterns. The political landscape of the United States is dynamic, with voting patterns evolving over time due to demographic shifts, changing social attitudes, and economic developments. While historical trends provide a foundation, the future of red and blue states is shaped by ongoing changes. In recent years, we've seen significant shifts in traditionally red or blue states. For example, states like Georgia and Arizona, which have historically leaned Republican, have shown increasing support for Democratic candidates. These changes can be attributed to growing urbanization, demographic diversification, and changing attitudes among younger voters. Conversely, some traditionally blue states are also experiencing shifts. States like Pennsylvania and Michigan, which have been Democratic strongholds, saw strong Republican support in recent elections, reflecting the economic concerns and cultural values of their working-class populations. The influence of new media and technology also plays a role in shaping political views and engagement. Social media platforms and digital campaigns allow for more targeted and personalized political messaging, potentially altering traditional voting patterns. Looking ahead, the future of red and blue states will depend on how these factors continue to evolve. Demographic changes, economic developments, and cultural shifts will all play a part in determining the political landscape of the United States. By staying informed and engaged, voters can help shape the future of their states and the country as a whole. As we conclude our exploration of the geographical divide in American voting patterns, it's clear that the political landscape is influenced by a complex interplay of historical, cultural, socio-economic, and demographic factors. From the urban-rural divide to regional identities and socio-economic influences, these elements shape whether a state leans red or blue. Understanding these factors not only provides insight into current political behaviors, but also highlights the importance of staying informed and engaged in the democratic process. The future of red and blue states will continue to evolve, influenced by changing demographics, economic shifts, and cultural transformations. Whether you're in a solidly red state, a deep blue state, or a purple battleground, every vote and every voice matters in shaping the political future of the United States. If you found this video informative and engaging, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses of political and social issues. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.